Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is my first video, and this is kind of I'm gonna start using this channel as documentation of what I'm doing and what I'm working on. But anyways, this is my 93 4-cylinder automatic LX Mustang, or at least that's what it started out its life as. This car hasn't been registered since '06. It was rescued from a junkyard. I got it about a year ago. I got it running and driving. It was rough though. I was able to drive it from one side of my driveway to the other side, and then I started tearing it down. My goal here is to make a nice, reliable daily driver, but I'm going to attempt to put a 98 Cobra dash in it, as well as an F4 TE 351. Also, I'm working on converting to 5 lugs all the way around. I'm just about done, except for I got to get the rears brake calipers hooked up, and then I got to figure out the whole brake line situation. But for now, I just kind of want to talk about what I got done. As you can see, I've torn the car down completely. It just makes it easier to work on. Plus, like, it had a cracked windshield, like that was terrible anyways and needed replaced. So I took it out just to make it the trimming on the dash a little bit easier, which I've got a bunch done on that, but I'll talk about that later. But so far I've got a 98 rear end, a 98 Cobra rear end that came with, or no, I take that back. This is it's a 98 Cobra rear end, 5 lug, discs side to side, so make it a lot nicer for stopping. And then up front I have 95 spindles with 96 and up calipers, which are the dual piston calipers, and then standard disc brakes with those, and then a 5 lug, of course, on all 4 corners. They're kind of mismatched wheels right now, but it doesn't really matter. It's not like it's moving anywhere. I got this 351. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I was told that it came out of a 1990 pickup, but it's got a block casting of F4 TE, which is the 94 and up motors. So about all I've done is the intakes off of it. I've kind of cleaned it up a little bit. I need to go through and put all new gaskets on it. I have a buddy that's going to come help me pull the heads off of it and take a look at it, replace the head gaskets. I need to get an oil pan for it so that it'll fit in the Mustang. It's still got a standard pickup pan on it right now. And then eventually one day I'm going to put this 351 Lightning tubular intake on it. I have the upper. I'm still kind of in search of a lower. They're pretty expensive, so I keep my eyes out for those, and when I find one for a decent price, I'll try to pick it up. Other than that, I have a 94-95 radiator with electric fan. I have a spare I think that dash came out of a 95, just in case I need any extra parts for that 98 Cobra dash. I have some 94 and up door panels sitting back there that will get grafted to the doors of the 93 eventually to go with the dash. I also have some new rear quarters for it. I have wiring out of the 98 dash. I think that stuff there on the right is the harness for this 351. I have wiring in the 95 dash. And then I have all the 93 4-cylinder stuff in that bag. And then just some extra parts here and there. There's my steering column. Two control arms that are going to replace the rears eventually. I have a T5 that's going to go with it. I also have all the pedals and everything else to go with the 98 dash in that box. I have some long tube Hedman Hustler headers to go on this 351. Also, Just Friday. Today is Saturday, so no, Thursday. I ordered a tubular K-member that's gonna replace the old K-member. Hopefully that'll free up a lot of space for those long tubes. And then I also ordered a newer master cylinder and brake booster to help. It's got the proportioning valve so I can use the rear discs, and then it's also just better for braking. So my goal tonight is to cut this area out and replace it with this that came out of the 98 Cobra. And what this is the old steering shafts out of the 90, like the Fox bodies, they didn't ride on a bearing. They just kind of came through the firewall and then splined into the rack and pinion. Well, I cut this out of the 98 that I got the dash from in the rear end, and this is going to replace that section there, and it'll make the install of the newer brake booster and master cylinder easier, because I believe that big hole right there is bigger than the 93. And then also you have this section for bearing that your steering shaft rides on, which I have the old stuff here. It'll get replaced with newer stuff. So my goal is tonight is to try and cut this section out and mock this up a little bit. And then I have a buddy that does some welding, so I'm gonna get this in place, maybe tack it into place with my little Harbor Freight welder, and then hopefully he'll come by and weld it in for me. And then there's a few other spots, just a few random holes in this thing that need welded up, like from where the rear seat belts were. I'm not going to run a rear seat. Most likely I'll just run a rear seat delete. And then this is kind of what the interior looks like. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but it's just bare right now. I've mocked up the dash a little bit. I'll talk about that a little bit later, perhaps in a different video. And then I have a few other just random holes. I'm probably going to take like this emblem off and have him weld that up. And then I think there's some holes on the fenders of the front that I'm probably going to have him weld up all at the same time. And then, yeah. So that's just kind of a walk around of what I'm working on. This is my first video. I'm gonna try and start uploading a little bit more, or at all, I guess. Just mostly for myself, because I like to kind of keep a little bit of a documentation of working on this car as I go through it. And then also there's just, especially when it comes to this SN95 interior swap, there's a lot of forums and stuff where people have done it, but they're old. Like a lot of people did this in the early 2000s and stuff. So sometimes it's hard to find information on, or you have to do a lot of digging, or some of the older pictures and stuff have expired. So I figured this way would be a good way to, physically see it in a video or whatever. So yeah, that's where this thing is at now. I'll probably do a whole separate video on kind of what I've done on the dash so far, and then I'll also make another video just kind of showing the step-by-step of what I'm going to be doing with this tonight. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you like these videos, want to see more of these kinds of videos, let me know. Any advice would be awesome. I know a ton of people have done these dash swaps and motor swaps and whatnot. So I'll take any advice you can give me. Thank you.